No, they got 19 offensive rebounds, and 5 or 6 of them were like 1 and 2, and where we have a chance to bust away a little bit, and we couldn't. So the guys didn't lose themselves into the team. Whatever the team needs me to do for us, we didn't play that way, and it's good for me to see, and it's good for them to see. Individually, when you do that and you're playing for yourself, it's hard. You're out there by yourself. You make a mistake. You trip over. When you lose yourself in the team, you're just doing what the team needs you to do and what you're capable of doing. So we didn't have that today, but give them credit. Tommy had them ready. Great place to play. We had our chances, as bad as it was. We had a chance to win the game.
John, you've had a lot of great games from freshmen over the years. Cam Ward today leads all scorers, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals. What's it like for a guy in his first big game to come through that way?
And he really played well. And my 2 didn't play as well. They had been playing well, but they didn't today. Again, there were plays that they could have made for their teammates, and they tried to make it for themselves, and didn't work out so good. Even the last couple plays, guys were open, and they took the shot themselves. So they didn't play as well, but they have been playing well, and I like my 2 guys, and Cam's good. Played good.
John, I'm wondering, along those lines, with Jordan Scott, when he's in at the 2, how much different is Michigan State, both from a defensive standpoint and a rebounding standpoint? He seemed like he gave him a little more of that length in the board.
He did. And I think they were thinking about us, and they wanted more length on my guards. And that's why he probably did it, Tommy, but you'll have to ask him.
Coach Cal, I know you haven't coached here. Have you ever been in this building for any reason to see a kid or any other reason?
I really haven't been in this area, so I hate to tell you, I kind of knew it was the capital, but I didn't know it was the capital. And, so it's a neat, I can see why Tommy stayed here. And this building, this is a great building. Then I found out, how old is it? Was it built in 1989? Think about that. This building's like, what? Now, they must have gone through and done things to it, the concourse and trophy cases and all that stuff, but it's, and the fans having the students all around the lower area, it makes it a good place to play. I told them this is what we're doing, and, I was stunned we were up 3 at half, guys, the way we played. And then, there was just 2 or 3 stretches that we could not get a basket, make a play, and so it happened that way. But again, to finish, this was enjoyable. I'm glad that we came up here, and you want to win every game. At this time of the year, you win or you learn. We learned. We learned. We learned about each other. Guys got to take responsibility, hold themselves accountable. That's hard.
How surprised are you that Tom has stayed 31 years and still coaching at age 70?
Is he 70?
Yep.
He's not 70.
Yeah, he is.
His wife's 40. How could he be 70? No, I knew he was 70, but he and I have been friends for so long. It's funny, my wife met his wife for the first time today, but when he and I get on the phone, she's listening and my wife's listening, and we're going back and forth and we're laughing, and, I get off and my wife says, you need to talk to him more so you can laugh. And he's, so I hate to play friends. I'm happy for him, but, and then if we won, I would have been happy, but I would have been disappointed for him. I don't like playing friends. But this was a good game for both teams. I think he's saw some things that they got to do better. And we certainly saw some things we better get better at.
John, I'm on your right here. I'm curious how much of a scout you had on Cam Ward before this game, because he's played here and there.
Say again?
Cam Ward, how much of a scout did you have on him going into this game, and what stood out on that tape?
We knew who he was. I mean, obviously. But he killed us. We at halftime, like, hey, dudes, like, he's just going and getting every ball. Like, guys, who's, you got to, we did 3 days of blocking out. How'd that help? I should have done something different because we'd have had about the same results.
Coach, talking about one of your freshmen, Darius Acuff kind of comes back home. What did you see in his game tonight, coming back playing at the Breslin Center?
It wasn't great tonight. I mean, he, critical time stuff, took some shots. I appreciate he and Malik are not afraid to take game kind of winning shots, both of them. But when you fought to get back in the game, you can't take a quick one, and he did it. A couple layups they missed, but he's a really good player. Really good. Did not play great today, but look, the best players I've coached have had to get hit in the mouth. Had to get hit in the mouth. And then you either know you're not delusional, you accept, and you say, all right, that ain't going to work. I got to get better. He's talented that way. And both of the kids I have are very smart. So
You mentioned about the atmosphere of the building and everything. The level of the game in terms of the defensive and offensive side, did you feel like it had maybe a later season vibe to it?
it did. Look, if what happens at the end, you got a little more grind. And they grinded it more than we did. I was trying to space the court and do some things, and then I said, screw it, grind with them. It's the only way they're going to grind us for 30 seconds. We're going to shoot in 7. You're going to get buried. And so we started, but we haven't done that as much. But as the season goes on, there are points in the game, you just grind it. Let's go. We did some half-decent stuff. It's just that some decisions in possessions, like you'd go and have a great possession and follow it up with a bad one. Quick shot, no screen, something. But again, I'll have to watch the tape. I'm not looking forward to it, but I will.
Yeah, how do you go about, right here in the front, how do you go about teaching Darius and Malik maybe better shot volume without them losing confidence?
Well, I told Malik at one point, I appreciate the fact that you had the courage to shoot that again. But I also told him, you got it back, and DJ Wagner was wide open. Throw him the ball. Now, he may say, well, I'm a better shooter than him, but you got to trust your teammates, too. We had a couple of those. But, look, I've done this a long time, and you won't believe this. I've done it with young kids. Part of it is you got to hold them accountable. You can't be afraid to coach them. You got to tell them the truth. And you know what my best friend is? The bench. So, you told him after the game, some things you did, you're not playing that way. Not for me. The guys that know me know there's a certain way to play that these kids played 3 games so well, on the road at Memphis, which was a hard game for these kids. And now they come here, and the game got so physical, cutting and screening and getting screened, and it wears you out. And now all of a sudden your shooting goes. So, but I love them both. They're going to be fine.
Coach, you were asked right here. You were asked earlier about the building, but I want to ask about the fan base now compared to different environments that you've been in throughout your career.
I'm not paying attention most of the cases, but what makes this different is that it's a big building, but you have the students right on top of you, in the lower area, and they're standing and getting into it. And for them, this is supposed to be an experience for those students. And this is a heck of an experience. You get in and you're 4 rows up on national television. You go back and watch the tape to see if you're on there at all. Oh, man, look, stop the tape. I'm on there, look. But it's a great experience for the students when you have it like that. And there are not many that are able to do that. They're just not. One more question so I can get out of here.
What were your thoughts on Jeremy Fears tonight? He was 0 for 7. Sorry, right here.
Who's that?
Jeremy Fears, the point guard. He was 0 for 7, but he had 9 assists. He was really running their offense, getting them going.
And that's, you did what you had to do to win. That's what he did. And we went over pick and rolls. We probably should have been going under, and then we started going under. But that's what a player should be doing. I didn't make any shots, but I rebounded. I dove on the floor. I came up with balls. I created shots, and I missed every shot. But we won. I am happy. That's what a good player does. Thanks, folks.